What if I told you that a company you've probably never even heard of just had one of the most explosive stock market debuts we've seen in years? And no, we're not talking about some household name. We're talking about a company right at the heart of a global tech race, a company called Threads.
On its very first day of trading, shares in this company didn't just climb a little bit, they absolutely skyrocketed. We're talking a gain of over 400%. Now that's the kind of number that makes everybody, from Wall Street to Shanghai, sit up and pay attention. It's a huge signal that there's something much bigger going on here.
And that really brings us to the core question of this whole explainer. Why the absolute frenzy? What is Threads, and why on earth did investors pour billions of dollars into a pretty new startup, sending its value into the stratosphere?
The numbers here are just staggering. I mean, the company raised over $1 billion, which is huge. But look at this, the retail oversubscription was 2,700 times. What that means is for every single share available to regular folks, there were 2,700 orders trying to buy it.
You know, at the very heart of this story is a key national strategy in China: tech self-sufficiency. Because of U.S. export restrictions on advanced chips, Beijing is pumping massive resources into building up its own domestic champions. The end goal? To create homegrown alternatives for the critical tech that powers, well, everything, from data centers to AI.
And Threads isn't doing this alone. It's actually part of a key group of startups that have been nicknamed the Four Little Dragons, and they're all racing to become China's answer to companies like NVIDIA and AMD. But, and this is a big but, in real-world performance tests, it still lags behind. This really shows you both the incredible progress they've made in just a few short years and the pretty significant gap they still need to close.
Which brings us to a very necessary reality check. Because underneath all the blockbuster IPO numbers and the grand national ambitions, Threads is facing a minefield of challenges.
This quote from an investor just nails it, really. The company's massive valuation isn't based on what it's earning today, because it's not.
Any one of these is a massive challenge. So, all of this leads us to the final billion-dollar question. With all this incredible hype and all these very real hurdles, what happens now?
Well, thanks to that spectacular IPO, Threads is now sitting on a war chest of over $1 billion in fresh cash. This is the fuel they're going to use to try and power through all those challenges we just talked about.
And here's the game plan for how they're going to use it. First, pour that money into R&D to design the next generation of chips. Second, use it to scale up mass production so they can meet demand. And third, and you could argue this is the hardest part of all, build a whole software and developer ecosystem around their hardware.